So a very warm welcome to the Complete Audiobook Production and Narration course. And I'm actually really excited to be teaching you this course because it's actually, I know from my own personal experience, it's a real groundbreaker opener when you first start getting into this. It really can add an extra dimension to your life, your professional life, and also your income over time. And so it's actually a really valuable skill that I'm passing on to you in this course. I'm very excited to be teaching it to you. So first of all, why get into this? What's the point of getting into audiobooks, and what's the point of understanding how to produce them and how to narrate them in a professional and effective and efficient way? Well, the first is that actually in terms of personal development, let's address that first. The ability to actually professionally produce or narrate or produce and narrate an audiobook actually really does develop you in terms of your own inner life. Because when you understand how to put a production like that together, what happens is that you actually start to understand stories much better, and you start to understand how things fit together. You understand how to project yourself better. You understand about tonality, voice, character, all sorts of things which are really beautiful things to understand that deepen you as a human being, as a person. And I thought I'd mention that first because I think that a lot of this area gets tied up in kind of technical teaching or stuff to do with performance and character performance and voice and so forth, all of which is really important. But keep in mind that there's a bigger journey here as you go through with this skill and hopefully implementing the skill. Secondly is professional development. There is no question whatsoever that understanding how to narrate properly and understanding how to produce and narrate professionally an audiobook is going to move you hugely forward in a series of areas. You're going to understand more about media. You're going to understand about voice. You're going to understand about microphones. You're going to understand about pitch, pacing, tonality, inflection, all sorts of things that you need to have to a degree at least to be able to accomplish this, which I'm going to be teaching you in this course. You need to understand basically how to put your files out there. You're going to have relationships with business partners that are going to move you forward in terms of the way that you interact with people and the way in which you move something successfully to a result. Many ways that getting into audiobooks is going to actually develop you professionally. Now, of course, you might be an author, in which case you might have a very strong interest in either actually producing and narrating your own books and putting them out there as audiobooks, or you might have an interest in actually understanding the various elements at play here in order to better commission someone to actually voice and do your audiobook. So also can be a developmental path. Who is this course for and who is it not for? Let's start with the not, first of all. Please refund or don't do this course if you don't want to do any work. Audiobooks is hard work. No question about it. There is a series of things you have to learn and master, and then there's a series of skills you need to put into actual practice. And this is not for people who are just trying to make a quick buck out of something, all right? This is not the course for you. There probably are some courses out there that will teach you how to, how to produce your audiobook in 1 hour and then just knock it out and then just, move on and mark it, And that just is not interesting, all right? And it's not what I'm interested in. It's not what I believe you should be interested in if you really want to develop a skill and actually really move up and move forward with this, okay? So if that's your mindset, please, this is not the course for you. If you're not prepared to get stuck in to developing a skill set, both in terms of technique, in terms of production, perhaps in terms of understanding some technical things about audio or preparedness to invest a bit of money at least in actually getting 1 or 2 bits of software, I'll be showing you those, and investing some money in obviously a microphone and in stuff that is going to enable you to actually to do this. Again, honestly, this is not the course for you. We will be covering some things where you will need to make choices about investing. You can get started for I'd say $200 or $300. You can start really at a very low level of investment and build it up. But realistically, as you get into this, you are going to need to eventually invest several $100s eventually to get a good professional setup. Okay, so if you're not in a position to invest any money whatsoever, and you don't intend to invest any money in the future in this, honestly, again, this course is probably not for you. If, on the other hand, let's talk about who the course is for. If, on the other hand, you have a serious interest in getting into audiobook production and narration, or if you're an author and you actually, as I say, want to actually do your own books, or you want to commission out with knowledge, this course is absolutely for you. It's going to give you what I think is a comprehensive overview and a comprehensive guide, actually, to all of the stages you need to understand and master to be able to go from A to Z in terms of the first conception of an audiobook all the way through to the final result, and indeed understanding a bit about the marketplace that operates and the way that marketplace operates in the professional audiobook world. Okay? So it's also worth saying what this course is and what the course is not. This course is not voice coaching. Now, I will be covering in the course performance and different aspects of dialect, accent, positioning of voice, inflection and stuff like that. And I will try to do my best to give you a survey of that and some examples of that so that you can start to get going with that. But really, if you're going to really develop your voice and develop as an actor as well, because there is a degree of acting in audiobook production, then really you do want to be going out and hiring a voice coach. And that is a process and exercise that, if you hire good people, is probably going to end up costing you several $100s, if not thousands of dollars. Now, it's worth saying that even people who are very experienced audiobook narrators, very experienced, and even people who are already trained actors or have many years of acting experience, still use coaches to actually improve their voice and continually work on their voice. It's one of the real principles, I think, of this art and craft and business, that actually you're in a process of continual education and improvement. That's on the technical side in terms of getting better and better and better, cleaner and cleaner, and more resonant and perfect technical results if you decide to produce yourself. And it's in terms of actually bringing a much better read, a much better experience, a much better delivery, and a much better overall result to the listener. Always remember that, audiobooks, very often people are listening through earbuds, and so your voice is accompanying them for hours and hours and hours, 3 millimeters away from their eardrum. And so, to really continually improve this art to the point where, you just get better and better at it, does involve an investment in time and a preparedness to continually learn. Okay, so a word about me. Who am I to teach this? Why am I teaching it? And, what's going on? I've been a film director for about 20 odd years. I've made dozens of productions, I think more than 40 documentary films around the world. Many of those films I've actually narrated myself, and I've done various bits of voiceover and narration for those films over the years. And so that has given me a background in actually doing narration and understanding how narration works in film. And so relatively recently, I started to think, well, hang on, if I'm good at that, then actually I should be able to translate that skill over to audiobooks. And so about 2 months ago, I started to get into the audiobook world. And so, yeah, I am a relative virgin, if you like, in the audiobook world. But what I found was that I actually took to it really quite rapidly. I've already got my first book out there, which was a pure test, a pure experiment, but actually it worked out rather well. The book is out there, and now it's on the marketplace. Very happy with that. The author was extremely happy. Following up from that, I very rapidly got the offer to narrate a 11-hour sci-fi book, which I'm currently in the process of doing. And I had another author approach me, and I'm starting to voice his historical fiction. So I've taken my background in film narration over to book narration. Now, it isn't quite the same thing, but in fact, it's precisely because I've had to actually start to learn and start to master characterization, acting, delivery, and some of the subtleties of audiobook narration and audiobook production that actually I think I'm in a good position to teach you at this stage. In other words, if you are someone who is highly experienced with audiobooks, you've narrated several hundred books, you're not going to want to do this course unless you feel there's some stuff in the production side you need to learn. Alternatively, if you're a master sound producer, you're probably not going to get much out of the production side, but you might get something out of the performance side. But this course really is for people who are either not in audiobooks already, or who are just starting out, or a bit along the way but hitting some obstacles. Then this course will be perfect for you. Because basically I'm at the point where I'm now starting to really churn out my books, and I'm starting to do it in a highly professional manner where the authors are absolutely delighted. So I'm not saying that to beat my own chest. I'm just giving you a sense of where I am and who I am to teach you this, and where I'm at in my journey with all of this. But I think as we go through, you'll begin to understand that actually I do know my stuff when it comes to production and to narration and so forth. Okay, so that's just a word on that. So a quick word about reviews, which is that Udemy has a very odd system where they start to ask you for reviews very early on. Now, if you feel able to actually rate and review at that stage, fine. Otherwise, please wait a bit until you get a bit further through the course. And, if you like the course, please leave a review. That would be very welcome. But don't feel obliged or pressured to leave a review too early until you've actually dug into the course a bit, until you've actually really understood what the course is delivering and whether it's a valuable experience.